Hi, Michael. Why don't you start by telling me a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Again, my name is Michael Park. Professionally, I work in the market research and consulting field. That business it's based in Asia, and we work with a lot of clients who are mostly small to medium-sized foreign companies, and they're coming to the U.S. to set up a presence. That could be something as simple as a small branch office, or it could actually be, in the case of our biggest clients, a full manufacturing facility. So we do the research for them, and then we help them step by step as they come into the U.S. and set up their operations.
And where is your office located?
It's right here in Norcross, actually, right there
Okay.
on the border of Peachtree Corners in Norcross.
Oh, all right. So, can you tell me a little bit about your background and heritage, and when you came to the United States, or second generation?
Yeah, I'm second generation. I was born in Columbia, South Carolina, where I don't really know why my parents picked there to immigrate to, but that's where I was born and raised through high school. I went to school in the Northeast, college in Washington, D.C., and then graduate school in New York, but consider myself just really a Southerner at heart. I sometimes joke to some friends that I'm kind of a born-again Korean, because growing up in South Carolina with a very small Asian American population,
Right, yeah.
I didn't really make that connection, and it wasn't until later in life, college years, and certainly now that I identify more with being Asian American, especially with my Korean heritage.
Yeah. Well, and where is your family now? Your parents and siblings? Or?
They're also here in the Metro Atlanta area.
Are they?
Yeah, I have one younger brother who is living in Texas, but my younger sister is here, and my parents live in the Metro Atlanta area.
Okay.
Yes.
And tell me, do you? I think we were talking earlier about participation in things that go on in the county, and maybe Norcross specifically, but can you tell us about that?
Yeah, especially so I've been just really involved in the Asian American community since I got here, but in Gwinnett, and especially around areas like Norcross, Duluth, and up towards Swanee, it's very visible. You can see the influx of the Asian American immigrants and the population. So I just got really curious and wanted to know more of what was going on at the city and county level.
Yeah.
So started to go to some city council meetings, really not with any objective in mind, just wanted to learn more about what was going on.
In Norcross, or
in Norcross. So Norcross, where our office is located, actually the property is owned by my family. So my mother and father would sometimes ask Mike, would you consider going to a meeting or so?
Right.
Just because there may be something in the discussion that happens. There may be
an ordinance,
an ordinance or
change,
something,
yes.
and we're just not able to comprehend what they're saying fully. So I don't attend every meeting, but certainly I'll come in. And it was good to start to build that relationship too. I think part of the experience is to really know your elected officials and know who's in the community, so that if we ever had a question about something we wanted to do with the property, or if an issue ever came up, we would know who to contact right away and who to ask.
So you're familiar with community development, John Davis, Robert Patrick,
Sure. Yes.
the folks up there that take care of all the ordinances, and that's very commendable that you want to be involved too.
Yeah, well, it started again just kind of as a favor to my parents, and then through that is when you could say I started to get that itch to learn more. And so on the county level, I just started to try to find ways to engage, and thankfully there were some really nice programs out there. Leadership Gwinnett is another one that I had the privilege of going through, and that was more on a personal level. I really just realized that I knew so little about Gwinnett, and also as a new parent, I just wanted to learn more about an area where my wife and I were looking at a place to call home permanently. We wanted to be able to understand the school system, understand what was going on with housing options, and even taxes.
And there I don't know how familiar you are with the development that's going to occur around Lillianwood Park, and there will be some condos, apartments, mixed use and such, maybe you would consider living in Norcross.
Yeah, absolutely.
With
yeah.
Thrasher Park and Lillian Wood Park, I mean, with the kids.
We're very
It's
fond of this area. We again, my office is just right down the street, and we come here sometimes for lunch to to eat at some of the great restaurants. And
you know, one aspect of the change in the gateway to Norcross will be Buford Highway. The face of Buford Highway will change some. What do you think about that? Is that a good thing? Or?
I think it can be. I think it provides a tremendous opportunity. I know in things I've seen now, just by coincidence in things like national media, Buford Highway has so much potential to be a real destination in Metro Atlanta.
Right.
You've got organically, you have this mix of ethnicities and cultures and all of this diverse food, just things that other places try to create, and, and you have it just naturally along Buford Highway. So.
And if you're a chef, that's where they eat at Buford Highway, and because my son is a chef, but that's his favorite place to go on his off days.
It's exciting,
and you can't recreate that.
You can't. I've with the current condo in Buckhead, I take Buford Highway home many days to avoid the Peachtree traffic. And so there's been many nights where I just I stop in one of the restaurants randomly just to grab a quick bite. And, it can be a little intimidating because you walk in and no one is speaking English, and the menu is entirely in another language. But that's part of the fun. That's part of, it's no different than if I were to hop on a plane and go to another country and try to experience that. That's really all that is, except it's right here in our backyard. So I think the development of Buford Highway has got tremendous potential. If I could say one area of concern though would be that that it just you don't want to see too much gentrification. I certainly would like to see it be developed, but not lose the heart of what it is, and certainly because I think a lot of those businesses are small, family-owned operations, and kind of. Development's always a mixed bag. You want to see new buildings and new development, mixed use, and all of that's great, but not at the cost of losing the real
the same feel,
the real character.
And that's where I think Norcross has done a very good job as far as their downtown area. It has the same feel as a small town, and the footprint is the original footprint. So, and it was smart that they did not let any major road go through downtown Norcross, which preserved it. And so that's the same kind of thing. You want to see it be dolled up and kind of up with the times, but you don't want to lose that basic feeling that it evokes, you know. So
I always get a little wary when I hear like master developer or master plan, because that usually means that one company is coming in and then going to implement their vision for what a downtown or for what a thing should be. And I just think that the spots that I really enjoy the most, like an Inman Park or like the Ponce area or the West Side, it's just organic. It's more of a village feel where it's not like everything's been planned by one company, using the same materials. So that's just my personal take on it. And it's why I like Buford Highway, because you can just tell every little street corner and block is just so unique and so different. That's
right. Well, and have you explored other parts of Gwinnett County, say Decula or Lawrenceville, and might they be a choice for you and your family?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. We certainly have looked at Lawrenceville, Decula. I love the area personally, and certainly the school system all around Gwinnett's great. But I think my wife wants to stay a little further towards 85 and not so far north. So I'd say Norcross, Peachtree Corners to some extent, Duluth, Swanee, like those areas are certainly possibilities, and you really can't go wrong.
Where it's easier to get in to
Easier
town.
to get in, and there's also a strong base of the Asian American community, which is where we spend a lot of our time volunteering. There's also a comfort level for our parents who are at an age now where it's something that we never even considered. It was kind of a nice benefit, but my father and mother are going to a dentist appointment or going to see a doctor and having someone be able to speak comfortably to them in Korean. I mean, their English is excellent. They speak English very, very well. but still there's a comfort level when it comes to having your physician explain to you something in Korean. They can go to a pharmacy now and get their medication in Korean. Again, it's just another level of comfort that I never considered, but that they really benefit from, and they really like it.
So your parents are not working any longer?
They're semi-retired. They still go to the office every day. It's not as intensive, but they're never going to retire. It's just not in their blood. I think their generation doesn't know the word retirement. My father,
he keeps going.
He would try, and he could probably play golf, but I think after a month or two he would get so bored that he'd have to come back.
What is their business?
He's involved in international trading, import-export.
Oh, okay.
Again, it's slowed down a lot because in their prime, there was several warehouses we managed, and containers constantly coming in. So now it's more of he just wants to keep those lines alive, and he's got great relationships all across Asia with his suppliers. So he just does little things, little projects. And my mother also assists with that, but then she's on more of the commercial real estate side with a few properties around the metro area.
Great. And she's busy being grandma.
Both are very busy being grandparents.
Yeah, that's a nice thing.
Yeah, that's probably their favorite part of the day.
Yeah, and tell me something. Why did you choose Gwinnett County to place your business in this county? Was there any reason that you bought that building or land and ended up in Gwinnett?
Yeah, my parents had always heard. First of all, Gwinnett was very central again to the Asian community, but more than that, owning properties around other parts of Metro Atlanta. They had always just heard good things about, how easy it was to do business in Gwinnett. Gwinnet's very business friendly.
How many years have you been here?
I've been here 11 years.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah. But that was one of the things. I mean, honestly, in dealing with some other municipalities and other counties with regulations, ordinances, it's really like just beating your head against the door. But with Gwinnett, my parents we've never really experienced that difficulty. As I said, we started to build those relationships, but more importantly, we'd always just heard and really come to realize that Gwinnett is very business friendly. It's easy to find someone to answer your questions. Example is having our office here in Norcross. Every year when we have to redo the business license, it's just a renewal. It's so simple, just like a postcard you fill out, you send it in. That's something that is really overlooked, and it can't be overstated how great and simple that is, because in other areas we have properties, there's an entire booklet you have to fill out every year. You have to refill it out, go through all the documentation again, which is really, very it's very time consuming, inefficient.
And it's nice to hear how business friendly Gwinnett County is.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, I think that's why you see not only Norcross, Duluth, but you see just all around the county. You see constantly companies wanting to come here. But in a good diversity too, not just small companies, but you see the large corporations also look at it as a potential landing spot, and I think that's a lot has to do with the leadership and the ease of taking care of all the filing, processing. That's something that Gwinnett's done a very nice job.
Yeah. Well, what would you like to see in Gwinnett County over the next 10, 20 years?
I think in Gwinnett, the only thing that really, and it's happening naturally, is to see a little more inclusion. Diversity is already here, and that's something that I've come to realize is two different things. Diversity is already here. Certainly when you read articles and you see demographically, the shift is already happening. So Gwinnett is very diverse, but it's more of the inclusion side. And again,
I think I've even heard statistics that Gwinnett is the most diverse county in the United States.
I have. A representative from the Census Bureau I was speaking with a few weeks ago, he can tell you that Gwinnett County is what a lot of people think that the United States will look like in 30 or 40 years in terms of the demographics. Yeah. So that means a lot of eyes are on Gwinnett to see how we handle things like education, public health, how we look at things, infrastructure. That's all wonderful, and I think the county leadership is extremely capable and doing a very good job. But when I say inclusion, I would hope that we see more of the diverse communities find ways to get involved. These are decisions that affect all of us in our entire communities, and you just need those different voices. It's going to cause potentially more work, and it can be a little more complicated to work through all the various opinions. but I think that's necessary to become, a real vibrant, truly multicultural community, and that's where I think we could do a better job, and we are. I think we're taking steps to get better
Making
at that.
strides
Yes.
towards that end goal. Well, we're very happy to have you here in Norcross, and if there's anything else that you would like to say.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here in Gwinnett and excited about the future Gwinnett offers. I mean, it's something that when I came from New York City after graduating graduate school, I never would have really imagined Gwinnett as home. I always thought I was going to be more in town, Buckhead or Midtown. But as I got to know more of the leadership, got to know the communities, and of course becoming a new father, it's just everything Gwinnett had to offer, and it's really a very full package. And going forward, that's really what you look for in a home. It's not just a place that provides peace of mind now, but for my daughter and for her generation, a place that's going to provide a great place to grow up, a good place to live, but also opportunities for work or whatever she may choose to do.
Right. So you've looked into the school systems, which are best, and
yeah, the school system was key. I mean, that's I think for any parent
in town,
that's first and
you
foremost.
might end up having to send your child to private school.
Right. That's usually what happens to our friends who stay in town. Is they I think their kids end up going to a private school, which it's always is a valid option, but. I grew up through a public education system myself in South Carolina, and I just think that there's a lot of merit and a lot of benefit there too. So just in my limited exposure to the schools around Gwinnett, I like what I see, because that's really what I think we as adults can learn from. When you see these kids interact together in that environment, there's not an issue of race, there's not black, white, Asian. Right. It's just, they're all friends and they all get along and they all, work together. And that's something that I think in Gwinnett we're working towards.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.